Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Nanice, and this is your astrology report on the full moon in Libra happening on Sunday, the 28th of March of 2021 at 8:48 p.m. Cairo, Egypt time. I'm recording this report just a few hours prior to the full moon. We are already experiencing this full moon energy, and we have been since around yesterday. And a full moon is a time of culmination, a time of fruition and harvest. So look back at your life around 2 weeks ago during the new moon in Pisces. A seed was being planted at that time. And also look back at your life 6 months ago, around October the 16th of 2020, during the new moon in Libra, because something was being initiated around that time as well. And now it's come to bear its fruit and come to light. Libra is the intellectual, communicative, artistic, active, and initiatory temple of Venus. It is a sign symbolized by the balancing scales of justice. And this is an airy sign. It's an intellectual sign, a communicative sign. And it is a part of the sky that is symbolic of the judgment of the sun as it enters the underworld. In this way, it initiates the fall season. The sun is symbolic of life and light. And here in the sign of Libra, the sun loses its power, and it's the sun's natural opposite, Saturn, has a lot of power in Venus. In Libra. And Saturn is the Lord of death and darkness, and it is exalted in the sign of the ethereal home of Venus, which is Libra. Venus is a planet that is symbolic of love, beauty, harmony, cleanliness, women, children, and all the pleasant and sweet things in life. And during this full moon, Venus, the ruling planet of Libra, is in Aries, where she's not very comfortable. However, what makes this full moon so interesting is that Venus was just a few hours prior to this full moon in a very empowered position in its very disempowered, not very good position in Aries. So there's this thing called cazimi when a planet is very close to the sun. It's not comfortable there. It's too hot. The sun's rays are too strong and it gets burnt out. However, when it's right on top of the sun, the cazimi means in the heart of the sun. And when it's right on top of the sun, for that moment, it is empowered. And Venus has just gone through this process just before this full moon. So what this tells me is that there was a rebirth of Venus. And during this full moon, Venus is in a baby stage. It's just been reborn and it's beginning anew. And this full moon is bringing light onto this situation of this newly born Venus, this new idea or new beginning surrounding Venus topics. So a good question to ask yourself at this full moon is, what is your new mission surrounding Venus topics that this full moon brings to light? Because there's something being reborn right now. This is a full moon that expresses balance, harmony, and justice amidst challenges and change. And we are faced with opposing choices, and this full moon is shedding a light on the initiation and actions we are able to take to get where we want to go. The judgment is cast, and the choice is being made at this full moon. Mars, the ruling planet of Aries, is in a supportive sextile aspect to both Venus and the moon. This is very helpful. And the moon is closely approaching a harmonious trine, which is another supportive aspect, followed by a trine to Mars as well. And Saturn and Mars are like the kind of like bad boys of the 7 traditional planets. They're known to, bad boys or bad girls or whatever, the malefics. They tend to be the troublemakers in the charts. And this full moon has harmonious aspects to them. So it's like the baddies can't do anything to harm this lunation. So I take this as a very good sign. It's an auspicious sign, showing that there's stability and supported action in this full moon. My teacher Achyuta Bhava mentioned in his report on this lunation that in his 10 years plus of experience as a professional astrologer, whenever he saw Venus opposing the moon, which is happening during this lunation, that when he sees a Venus moon opposition in anyone's chart, that it usually indicates a kind of challenging emotions such as jealousy, between mother and daughter, between sisters, between the person and women in general. And in the ancient world, there was a concept called the triple goddess, which is symbolized by the waxing crescent, the full moon, and the waning crescent. The waxing crescent is symbolic of the maiden, so it's a woman that's yet to develop. And this is all archetypal and symbolic, by the way. It doesn't have to literally mean that, but these are archetypes that can live at any point during our lives. So there's the maiden archetype, which is the kind of whole in her or itself. And the full moon, which is symbolic of motherhood. And there's the waning moon, which is symbolic of the crone or the wise woman. And during this lunation, there could be a tension between the maiden archetype and the mother archetype. The mother is symbolized by the full moon, as I said earlier, and in this case, Venus would be symbolic of the maiden archetype. So there could be themes related to women, motherhood, maidenhood, jealousy, challenging emotions around this full moon, but I take it as a positive thing because there's Chiron in the mix. And I don't really usually talk about Chiron, but I couldn't deny that Chiron was like right on top of the sun and Venus during this full moon. So I paid attention to it. And what it says to me is that there's a healing opportunity. This is a chance to heal these issues. They may come and be brought up to light, and it may feel uncomfortable, but it's got healing potential. And it's also got the potential to stabilize whatever these challenging emotions could have been in the past. Communications, trade, commerce, transportation, and logical thinking may suffer during this time due to Mercury still in Pisces, and where it's not happy in Pisces. It's just way too big and emotional and expansive, and Mercury likes things to be smaller and to be more logical, and it's just not a comfortable position for Mercury. And to make things even more intense in that aspect, Mercury is about to get together with Neptune, and this is going to amplify this kind of confusion, or this kind of logical thinking is going to get thrown out the window. And there's going to be challenges with trade, commerce, as if there wasn't already with the Suez Canal being blocked, which was a real good analogy of this transit. This is not going to stop yet. And however, the positive side of this is it's a great time to pursue mysticism, spirituality, to do prayer, and doing non-linear expressions such as art, dance, writing, poetry, music. It's a great time for that. So it's not such a great time for like logical, like really step-by-step process type of ways of thinking or communications, but it's a great time to get mystical. So enjoy that. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you like this reading, please consider booking a reading with me. Please donate to my channel. You're really supporting my work by doing so. And I hope you all have a very blessed full moon in Libra, and I'll be speaking to you guys soon. Bye.